So the next one I'm going to get into is a film called Good Boy, and this one just came out. It got a lot of buzz specifically for this canine performance in here. It is an interesting film, telling a haunted, house story from the perspective of the family pet. And in this story, a man moves into a new home that has supernatural forces lurking in the shadows. As dark entities start to threaten him, his brave dog comes to the rescue. This is directed by Ben Leonberg, and our main cast here is Indy, and that's the same name as this dog in this film. So that's kind of interesting. We also have Larry Fissenden in this as well as Shane Jensen. For the most part, I do got to give praise to the dog in this film. This is an interesting perspective to shoot a movie from. A lot of times we see the family pets in a film like this, and maybe the dog is growling at a shadow or something like that. But this fully takes that to the next level, where this film is told entirely through this dog's point of view. Even going so far as keeping the angles kind of low at the dog's eye level, and most of the film is experienced, through this dog's point of view. Outside of that, it's kind of sad, man, because this film kind of falls apart after this initial
Set up.
aspect of, wears a little bit thin, you know what I'm saying? So I think what happened with this film, it kind of lost its plot, I think it got caught up in the gimmick of telling the story through this dog. But what follows, and this is a really short film, man. So comes in at an hour and 13 minutes, which is strange for theatrical release, man. I feel like they're usually pushing really
Had
hard
to
to get
be.
stuff out. Like, yeah, you might get an 85er in there or 80 on occasion, but this is really short. But what happened with me, they have these haunting sequences and the dog is reacting to them, and it's kind of brilliant. But after the third time that it starts, I started to get like, yo, what is happening here? Because one of the problems with these haunting sequences, they're well done, and this dog is really great in this film, but they are rather confusing. And after a while, it gets really repetitive to the point where we're like these sequences really only serve to give the dog something to react to. There's really not much exposition, you know, as far as to the mystery of why this place is haunted. I think that's one of the main principles of a haunted film. You want to get to why these things are happening. Maybe there's a wrong that happened, in the past or something. And it really got really just tedious in that aspect, and it got repetitive. There's a little bit of, I perked up a little bit because there's some sequences that take place outside of the house, which I thought were some of the better ones. They were still kind of creepy, even though they were happening in broad daylight.
Okay.
Um, but another thing that was weird is they chose to obscure the humans' faces in this film. The dog's owner specifically, we see him all around, but for some reason we can't see his face, or it's
Oh,
always
so they doing like a
obscured.
Charlie Brown type deal. You don't see
Yeah,
the.
or it's blurred, and I'm like, what's the point of that? Because the dog could clearly see the owner. If we're looking from the
Yeah.
dog's point of view, they're going to see their face, and I think that's kind of a little bit strange, and maybe it's supposed to give us more immersion into the dog's point of view, but in my opinion, it kind of puts some distance between the dog and his owner. That
Yeah.
relationship kind of suffers a little bit because of that. And then there's a scene where one of the neighbors comes up and he's got a full-on ghillie suit on. And then I'm like, okay, so you got him in the ghillie suit just to keep up this gimmick of not showing the humans' faces. It just seems strange,
The ghillie
like
suit.
the sniper suit where they
Oh,
wear
okay,
with
okay,
all the
okay.
leaves and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really strange, man. Even at the end, a character pops up and their face is obscured. I'm like, yo,
Okay.
what is happening? So this thing kind of concludes. I mean, we do figure out something that's going on with the owner, but that still doesn't explain why this place is haunted. I mean, there is a history. Our character is moving into this house after I believe his father owned it, and somehow his father went a little mad. There is some discussion about his other dogs ran away, but this thing just kind of ends, and I'm still just scratching my head like whoa. And another thing too, I think what's crazy about this film being 70 minutes long, I expected a quick man, this film is felt longer than a 2 hour movie.
Really? So
Like that's
drug.
that's it.
Okay,
That's how
okay.
it drug. Like I said, after that initial thing wears off, and I think the problem with the haunting sequences is, like I said, they don't add any more context. Like if you see something like Stir of Echoes, every last one of those scenes mattered. Like we're
Yeah.
getting flashbacks. We're peeling back the layers.
Or something
We're
like,
getting
or
to,
something like Presence earlier this year.
yeah, we're getting to the bottom of things, but this didn't do that, man. And I mean, there were some people, it got a lot of buzz coming out of the film festival circuit, but man, I was let down. I was really highly anticipating
Okay.
this. And it's funny because I'm in the theater, there's this dude sitting next to me, the whole movie. So the movie ends, I see him get up first, and he goes and starts going down the steps, then he turns back around, he's like, "What'd you think of that?" And I was like, the dog was great, but that thing was kind of a mess. He was like, "Yeah, I agree." So I don't know, man. Maybe you'll get some more out of it. I think what it's doing now with the marketing is playing up on people's love of dogs, which I think is disingenuous because a lot of people are going to come in for this, and the dog doesn't die. I will say that that's been heavily in the advertising and the marketing because a lot of people are sensitive to these kind of things. So they say the dog doesn't die, but even if you're a lover of dogs, man, I don't know how I still find this going to be a film it's going to be hard. It's not going to work on a lot of people, man. It definitely didn't
Okay.
work on me, dude. Like I was kind of let
I
down
tell
by
you
it.
a movie that's kind of put me in the mind of when I was hearing about it. Did you
Hmm.
see Skidamarink?
Yeah. There's
I
a
was
little
like,
bit
how
of
it's in that.
Skinamarink stuff, but I think more stuff happens in this than Skinamarink. But I did still have kind of that empty feeling when I at the end
Okay,
of
okay,
it that I got
okay.
from
That's all.
Skinamarink.
That's
Like,
all. That's all I wanted to know.
no,
That's all I wanted to know. That's
yeah,
how I could kind of judge if I want to go and see it or not.
I
Because I
would
hated
wait, man.
Skidamarink. Yeah.
I would wait because I should have watched Coyotes instead because it came out the same day. So I was kind of like weighing my options, but I'll probably go back this weekend, maybe tomorrow to check out Coyotes. Even though there are different kinds of films, obviously. Yeah, but yeah, I did not like Good Boy.